Okay, so step one, I'm gonna color her skin because it's the first thing in the photo, right? So like it's underneath, so like almost think about coloring with color pencils exactly like you would with layers. So you would start with the first layer, so underneath is the skin, and then I would go up, I would do her little hair ornaments, and then I would go well, I would probably do the hair first and then do the hair ornaments because the hair ornaments are sitting on top of everything else. So I use 3 main colors for the skin. You can use 4 though. So you want your base tone, so what I want her skin to look like. Then I want my dark tone, so where I want her shadows to be, so along here where she's like, I'm assuming the light is coming at her from this way. So I'm gonna put my shadows along here. And then my highlight tone, so since I want the light over here. And then my highlight tone is kind of the same as like my blushy tone. So like things where the light's hitting you, like say the tip of her nose or like the top of her ear maybe, or like her brow a little bit up here, and then maybe her forehead and like the highlight, like the apple of her cheek. That's where I would put my highlight tone. So highlight tone, or for me blushy tone, that's the 3 colors. If you're doing the 4 colors, then you would replace all the places that I just said would be your highlight, so you know, and then your blushy tones would kind of be around that, or just to add like little bits of distinction. So let's take a look at what color we want her to be. Boop, boop, boop. And you know what? You know, people talk shit about like Crayola or whatever, but Crayola's out here doing its bitch. It's on its shit. So I'm just like combing through for a color that I like. I think I'm drawn to the almond shades, so I'm gonna look for all the almond ones. Golden, where's the almond? Golden. Medium deep almond. Golden. Deepest almond. Golden. Almond. Very deep almond. I love that it's like not the most impressive colors. So, okay, we have deep almond, medium deep almond, deepest almond. Where's just regular deep almond then? It's just deep almond. Come on, baby. Deep golden. Very deep almond. These names are really cracking me up. Very deep rose. Extra deep almond. Son of a bitch. Just give me deep almond. Medium deep golden. I guess they don't have a medium deep almond. Or maybe I left one in the box. And is it? No, this is extra deep rose. So fuck it, we ball, I guess. We'll go with the ones we have. So I'm gonna leave deepest almond off to the side, probably to color her eyes or her hair or something. So I have these 3 colors. I've got medium deep almond, and very deep almond. So I'm just, oh, I do have deep almond. I guess I pulled it already. I'm dumb as shit. Anyway, so I'm gonna use just deep almond as the base tone, and then the highlight tone will be the medium deep almond, and then the very deep almond will be the shadows. So just gonna start. A couple of things. So when you're coloring with pencil, if you want very, very little texture on your pencil drawings, you're gonna want to color in circular motions. So that will have less texture, you know? I'm still at work and I'm like YOLOing my way through. So, okay. Just circular motions. most likely you want to keep it pretty tiny. So right now we're coloring her neck. This is with the base tone, but we know we're going to go over where her neck is and like where her earring is in a little bit. I recommend starting with a really light hand pressure and building color by going over the same spots over and over again. So usually what I do is I throw down a base, and then if it's not really the color I want, then I'll go back over it. Kind of have to take your time. And as you can see, pencil crayon is so textured in comparison to digital painting. So I like it. It just says I don't have to work too hard, you know, like pencil crayon's automatically going to give me a texture. Now, another thing you can do is crossing and cross-hatching lines. So if we were to go, let's go off to the side here. If we go in one direction diagonally, we go in the other direction also diagonally, but then it makes a cross-hatching pattern that's usually quite smooth. I like to use cross-hatching on like things like fabrics. So yeah, so now I laid down my flat color, and I'm just gonna go over again to kind of get the tone a little bit deeper, a little bit more brown, get a little more coverage. Now I might make my loops a little broader, again, to get more of that coverage. Still keeping the pressure pretty light. I don't want to color too hard. And I'll just keep going over and over and over until she's a color that I like. So most of my circles, though they were circular-ish, they kind of have a, they were all going in a certain diagonal direction. So I'm going in the opposite diagonal direction to kind of smooth out the tone. But there we go. So then now I'm gonna go in with my second shade. Let's pull a YouTuber moment here. Very deep almond. And like I said, I've decided the light is coming from this way, from the angle of the camera. So her shadow is gonna fall here. We'll go for the natural shadow spots. So over here, the left side of her face is gonna be in shadow. Left side of her forehead in shadow. Kind of the curve of her lip as well. And then we'll go down underneath her jaw. That's in shadow as well. And I'm just doing hatching lines, so just diagonal. And I usually do it in the direction of the light. So if the light's coming this way, like down from the camera that way, the light is almost streaks that way. So for me, I just feel like it gives more of the vibe, like it's shadow cast from a certain direction. So again, the opposite would be true. If the light was going that way, I would put my lines that way so that it would look like the light is going that way. So yes, that is my shadow. Maybe a little bit top of her lip there, curve of her nose. But that gives her a more shadowed look. Maybe to smooth out the lines a little bit so it doesn't look so streaky. Again, go in the opposite diagonal direction. I recommend that your pencils are pretty sharp. I think it has a better color. When they're dull, it it's easier to do flat colors like this, like, to fill it in, but it has less texture. Well, it has a smoother texture, softer texture, almost more fabric-y, for me anyway. But when they're sharp, okay. Now we're gonna go in with our medium deep almond. This will be our highlight color. So I'm gonna put this where I like to do curves for this as well, but where I know she's highlighted. So the curve of her nose right here, the light's hitting that way, the top of her brow. Think of it almost like makeup. I'm gonna put it on the curve of her lip on this side. I'm gonna follow the apple of her cheek, and I kind of make a U shape. Like the ball of her chin too. Might put it there. And I'm gonna go back over, like you saw me doing with the shadowed parts, with the medium color, her base tone, so that I can kind of blend it all in. I don't want it to look like colors just sitting on top of each other. So we're gonna come in . Okay, she doesn't look half bad. She needs a bit more blending. I was a bit too aggressive with the shadows. But traditional media do be like that. The neck, though, I'm pretty satisfied with. I think I colored that very well. Okay, so that's her skin. So now we're gonna do her hair. So I'm going to make her brows this deepest almond because I just like that color. Looks good. Oh no, I've ruined her brow shape. Sorry, queen, you're no longer fleeking. Okay. Okay. Oops, forgot to fill in her other eye. Okay, and need to find a black pencil crayon. Whoa. Okay, I found like a really brown pencil crayon, but I don't. The brown will do. Now let us pray it's not the same the same color as my other ones. Where is my pencil sharpener? Me and this pencil sharpener at war at all times. Where is my pencil sharpener? Ah. Okay. So going in with my Faber-Castell, let me, hold on, working, whatever shade this is classic apparently. yeah, it's different enough. So I want her to have coily hair, so I'm doing pretty tight circles around her hairline. Coloring hair is infinitely harder, so fucking YOLO. We'll see what happens. I probably should have done this as like, well, I'm talking, so I guess it's fine. I was thinking, oh, I should have done this as like a time speed thing, but it's cool, it's fine. So for this, because this isn't really the color I'm thinking of, I'm probably going to go in with Deepest Almond again to match her hair, the eyebrows that I already gave her and everything like that. And speaking of, I forgot to do her lips. I'm so stupid. Medium Deep Almond. Because lips are always a lighter color. Here we go. That's much better. Excellent. Okay, so back to what I was doing. So I'm probably going to do this with like a couple of colors. So in the same rules apply, like this is the base color. Deepest Almond is going to be my shadow color. Like I said, I want her hair to be kinky coily, so just kind of doodling little circles. I also like to do these movements sometimes, but we're just trying to color, so. I just want to give that spirally effect without thinking too hard. Don't you love that you can tell I'm kind of getting lazy? Okay. So again, the little scribbly Z looks are good for filling out and kind of having, especially around the hairline. I really like those little Z's around the hairline. I'm sure you can go about this another way too. So we have this section where we have the more defined curls. Let's try this side a different way. So I'm just going to fill in the color flat. It's kind of too late now, but it gets our point across. We fill in the color. And again, so you saw me go in one direction, now I go in a different direction. So I was going diagonal that way. Go from another way. This very much removes the texture of hair, but now that I have a flat color, now I can do my shaping Z's, and I might do them a little harder so that they show up on screen more. So that's a couple, will show up on screen, but show up in the drawing. So once I fill in the flat color and maybe my brush is a little, or my pencil is a little dull, now I might sharpen it so that I can get those harder lines to get that definition. So two very different styles of curls. I think I kind of like this style more. So I'm going to use more of it. And now again, so this is just the flat color, but I might go in with Deepest Almond, especially on the inside of the hair where it's darker, right? Where there's shadows and stuff. So underneath her headdress, she might have a little more shadows underneath here. And the same thing, so we have our base tone, and we would find a slightly lighter brown, and we would come with, again, where the light is up at the top of her hair here, maybe on the side of her hair here, we would have a highlight. Paid. Okay. We're in a very precarious position, but yeah, so we might come in with the highlight color here. So I'm sure I can find, like, there's one called like Golden in there that I really like. So yeah, now that I have the flat color, I'm gonna add little ziggles, little zwiggles here and there to kind of give more of that impression of curls. So let's do that for the other side. So again, this side I might do big loose circles because we're already here, but I'm just filling in the color, filling in the color, filling in the color, filling in the color, la 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 la. So, as we're here, watch the most recent Scream movie. Kind of disappointed me, but not for the reasons you'd think. Like, I know Scream is meta, or tries to be meta, or whatever, and it is for the most part, but like, I think they really lost an opportunity. Like, you're here and you're mentioning, oh, like, you know, this girl's the daughter of Billy Loomis and all that kind of stuff, you know? And I am having trouble believing that none of the psychopaths have decided, I want to murder with her, you know? Please be the Billy Loomis to my Stu Mocker, you know? Like, I don't know, I just think you're missing an opportunity. And it could be mad lesbians energy too. And you know, I love mad lesbians energy. But the two movies were enjoyable. Except I'm realizing that, like, with slasher fix, I get more frustrated. Like, I don't know, it's just something, like, I know that's the point. Like, you know, like, there's the rules of horror where you're like, yeah, this, you know, like, everybody knows you don't split up, you don't do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're supposed to, you know. But it just always frustrates me. I'm just there like, if you know you can't beat him, why are you trying to fight him? Or like, you know, hit him again. Why are you not hitting him again? You got him good in the head with a frying pan. Keep going. Wail on that motherfucker. Wail on him. Just keep beating him up with a fucking frying pan until his head is mush. And then you know what? We wouldn't have a fucking slasher. Like, if it was like a supernatural slasher, you know, like fucking Freddy or some shit. Freddy's immortal. It doesn't matter how much you wail on him with the frying pan. Freddy's gonna fucking get you. I'm not mad about that because there's no fucking winning. Anybody surviving Freddy, I'm like, you know what? You did your best. Good job, queen. But like with Scream, where they're human, I'm like, no, they're human. Shoot that motherfucker and keep shooting. Just keep shooting. Just do it. You know? So, yeah. Oh, you also kind of want your swiggles to go in the direction you're going. So here, they're pulling back from her hair. She kind of has baby hairs here. So I'm going in that direction instead with my swiggles to show the direction that the hair is pulling. Okay? So yes, now we need a different color, and I'm gonna go for this one, and hopefully my camera doesn't fall over. So Faber-Castell once again, or maybe not. Yes it is. So Faber-Castell. I point out these like you don't even already know the colors, but whatever. So with stuff like this, so these are supposed to be like flower petals in her hair, so I like to do hard outlines, kind of show where I'm at. I don't know why, I just think it looks good. Now, if you wanted, the same rules could apply where I find my base color and I find my highlight color and my shadow color. I'm too lazy for that right now, so that's why I'm just using like really, really hard pressure to get that deep, deep, deep pink. And then I'm gonna just fill it in, horizontal lines, well, horizontal, vertical, whatever. So we're just hatching right now. Vertical fill in. And then cross-directional, so we go in the opposite direction to fill in color once again. Might have to go over your outlines as well if they kind of fade in once you fill in your shapes, fill in everything. Might want to, again, if you don't really like that cross hatch texture, you might want to use circular movements in order to fill it in. But I think that looks pretty good. Shit's killer. Ho 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 ho. Again, just filling in the color with some cross-directional lines. Kind of being messy about it, but it's like whatever. It's just a sketch, just to have textures. And then I'm going back in with the circular motions to kind of buff out that, or blend in is really what I'm doing. I'm blending. Okay, so there we go. Now I need a nice green. I'm really tempting fate with this here. What color should I make her earring? I don't know, I'll worry about it later. Okay, so let's use this green color. Gonna get my sharpening on. Okay. Should have used the other shade of green, but c'est la vie. So this, again, just small details. So I'm just using really hard pressure to get like the most pigment out of my Damn, she looks cute. Like, okay, Miss Ma'am. All right. Okay, and should we make her other earring another shade of green? I could do that. This is what I have. Fuck it, we ball, because I'm too lazy to pick a different color. So, green earrings for Miss Ma'am. So you just see same technique. And